State Representative Tom Conroy, a Democrat from Wayland, made his way from Westboro to Hopkinton this afternoon after having traveled the entire western part of the state until this day. Tomorrow, he will travel to Natick Common and then on to Wellesley. I caught up with him outside of the HopNews studio and asked him to introduce himself and see if he would answer a few questions. Oh, welcome to Hopkinton. Do you have a moment?
Absolutely. My name's Tom Conroy. I'm a state representative just down the road in Wayland, Massachusetts, also representing Lincoln and Sudbury. But more importantly, more relevantly, here in Hopkinton today as a candidate for the United States Senate seat that's up for grabs next year. I'd like to take on Scott Brown, and that means winning the Democratic nomination in September next year. So looking for everybody in Hopkinton's support.
I asked his thoughts on President Obama's health care plan.
The President's health care plan, the health care reform plan, I think it's a move in the right direction. I'm very supportive of it. I think eventually we are heading down the road where we've got a system where the government is administering a lot of the health care system, but there's also an option for other folks to buy supplemental insurance from health insurance companies and access doctors and hospitals that might not be within a limited network. But I'm the vice chair of the Healthcare Finance Committee up at the State House, so I'm actively engaged in the governor's bill here in Massachusetts that's focused on improving the quality of health care that's delivered to people like you and me and all the regular folks out there, as well as containing costs.
And how would that happen?
Well, a couple of different ways. We're trying to focus on changing the way payments are made to hospitals and doctors so that they're actually, the doctors and hospitals have a good reason to think about holistically the health of the individual rather than just treatments and diagnoses and activities and transactions. And that's unfortunately the way the payment system sort of incentivizes folks right now is on a transaction basis. We're trying to get folks to think about the quality of care delivery and the whole person over the course of their lifetime.
Would the governor's plan change Romney Care?
Yes, it would change Romney Care in the sense of just improving the healthcare system. Ultimately what people care about in healthcare, as I've been walking around the state and as I've been a state rep, what I hear is that people care about three things. They care about access to good health care, they care about the quality of health care, and they care about making sure that it's affordable. And that's what we're focused on with the governor's bill, and I'm working with Chairman Steve Walsh in the House of Representatives, Speaker DeLeo, to affect that change and move us further in the right direction.
What about the debt ceiling talks?
Lift it, get it done. I'm hearing from folks all over the Commonwealth that we need to lift that debt ceiling. We need to, strike a long-term deal with regard to controlling spending, but perhaps more importantly also looking at the revenue side of that equation. So I support the president very much. We've got a lot of stubborn Republicans down there who are not willing to compromise. They need to learn how to compromise. I think Speaker Boehner is posturing a lot more than he's doing real straight talk to the people of America, and he's endangering the future of our economic strength and health, and he's playing chicken with the American public and our economy, and that's not right, and that's got to change.
How about the gambling bill for Massachusetts? It seems that the governor is not going to bend toward the legislature and agree to 2 slot parlors in addition to the 3.
It's not clear to me that gambling, opening up the whole Commonwealth to gambling, is really a money maker. Sure, a few jobs may be made in the construction industry and pipe fitters and steel workers, and I'm a big supporter of that, of those groups and trying to get them jobs. But I've got better ideas to create jobs here in Massachusetts than gambling, and that's infrastructure spending from the federal government. That's one of the reasons I want to go down to Washington. I want to take some of that money that's being spent over in Iraq and Afghanistan, invest it in rebuilding schools here in Massachusetts, rebuilding our public transportation system, buying new locomotives for the commuter rail and the T, potentially even lowering the rates on commuter rail costs, rebuilding our public infrastructure in terms of roads, bridges, waterways, and waterworks, that kind of stuff. Those would create good construction jobs, and if that's what the purpose behind the gambling bill is, I think I've got better ideas.